Students, we're going to talk about compasses and the basic compass rose. Now, we never had any lessons on compasses and magnetic field or anything, and then a few years ago the state of Michigan decided we need kids to know about the magnetic fields of the earth and the compasses, so we had to make up some new lessons. Because remember, every lesson in this class is tailored to what you have to teach your students. And we're trying to demonstrate the right pedagogy, the right way to teach your students. So we didn't just make a bunch of fun lessons. We took what you needed to teach and tried to use the best practices in teaching to help you be great teachers. We're going to talk about compasses, and here's a basic compass rose. And there's lots of fun sayings about this. How do you remember how they go? Never eat shredded wheat. Never eat soggy waffles. So when you make the compass rose with your students, never eat shredded wheat or never eat soggy waffles. There's lots of other things you can say. Never eat sour watermelon. All right, so if north is in this direction, if north is that star on the wall in this direction, then that would mean, if north was that direction, then that would mean south would be this wall. So you can teach your students a little bit about place using the compass rose. Now, these are kind of fun for students. Never eat shredded wheat. So if this is north and this is east, this would be northeast. If this is east and this is south, this would be southeast, south and west, southwest, north and west, northwest. You can take this as far as you want. Between north and northeast is north, northeast. East and northeast, east, northeast. You can go on and on. Now, a good way to practice compass directions is to do some fun things with your students. So, as this says, values given are from the last square, no gaps. So we're going to make something here. We're going to start out with a dot, and we're going to go shade in 2 squares north. Okay? The next one says 1 west, so we want to go 1 west of that last one, and then 1 south. And the next one is 1 southeast. And then we want to go 4 east. These are just fun ways to teach your students about directions. 1 northeast. So we're going to go here. 1 southwest, which would be 1 southwest, which would be this one here. 1 west, 1 south. And pretty soon you've got yourself a cute little dog. Okay? I messed up a little bit, but you get the idea. You can have your students make little shapes. This is really how the dog looks when you do it. 6th graders would eat this stuff up. It would be so great to do it with 6th graders. You can have the students make their own. This one, when they're done, is like a big gorilla with claws and big arms and so on. Now, how do we know that north is this direction? The earth is a magnet. It's a huge magnet, and there's a large magnetic field which is protecting us from harmful cosmic rays. If we did not have our magnetic field, we would just die, because there's a lot of particles coming from space that want to burn us up, destroy us. But instead, we have this magnetic field because we have a North Pole and we have a South Pole. And what's interesting, what the rocks and the oceans have told us, is that every 50 years, the North and South Poles switch. So you can see that the North geographic pole, which never changes, is here, but the North magnetic pole is slowly migrating to the south, and when it gets to a certain spot, when the South geographic pole is slowly migrating. When they get to a certain spot, the magnetic fields switch. We have rocks making up the ocean floors that have magnetic particles in them, and we can see when those fields switched by looking at the magnetism in those rocks. So how do we know which way is north? We know because the Earth is a huge magnet, has a north and a south pole, and we can actually take compasses and we can tell where north is by where the compass needle points. That direction in this classroom, that is north. Now, we do not know exactly where the magnetic field comes from. The current theory is that because the Earth's core, because there is molten iron and other metals in there, and because the Earth is spinning so fast, we think that is generating the magnetic field. But we're not 100% sure on that. Now, with a compass, these cardinal directions have numbers that go along with them. East is 90 degrees, and south is 180 degrees, and west is 270 degrees, and north is 0 or 360 degrees. So we can tell which way to go by using a compass. I have a compass here, and basically the only things we're going to worry about is putting red. You can see this part is white and this is red. We want to put red in the shed. That's going to show us which way north is. And we want to use our orientation of travel arrow to show us which direction to go. So, why do we need compasses? Well, with GPS, it's great, but sometimes a big volcanic eruption can disrupt the atmosphere, and GPSs don't work. Or other reasons. In the military, they're huge on compasses. You need to know exactly where you're going, exactly when you need to be there to be in the right spot so that you're fine. Now, how do you use a compass? This is a real amazing thing with the compass. Okay? So I'm going to use my huge compass over here, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and then we're going to take our own amazing race on campus and find our way around. Okay? So we have a dial that we can spin, and that would be this dial here. We have a direction of travel arrow, and we have the red shed that we want to put the red needle into. Now, holding a compass like this, it won't work because the needle is a magnet, but it has to be able to move freely. So you have to hold it in the palm of your hand in order for it to move freely. You can't hang it around your neck, even though that's kind of how you could keep track of it. And by the way, if you get a little mini grant to get compasses for your class, which would be fun and great, make sure you get the classroom Suunto set, okay? Suunto, S-U-U-N-T-O. $300, you'll get 30 compasses. It's great. We got some compasses from, sporting goods stores. They broke the second time we used them. A few of them broke the first time we used them. These are made for the classroom, and they're awesome. So you want to make sure you get the Suunto compasses, and you'll get a whole classroom set. S-U-U-N-T-O. They're made in Finland. Okay, so what we're going to do is I've hidden 4 clues outside on campus, and we're going to use different settings to find those clues. I'm going to show you, let me go back a couple of, so I'm going to give you an azimuth, I'm going to give you a reading, and you will set the housing to that number. And then you put the red in the shed, you put the north into the red, and you're going to see what direction to travel in. So we're going to go out and find those clues right now. It's like the Amazing Race on TV, but this is a little one on campus. One thing, if you set up an Amazing Race at your school, you need to make sure that each time the students come back to a central location. In the real Amazing Race, they go from place to place. But what if one of your kids goes to the wrong place first? And then they go to the wrong place, and then pretty soon you have no idea where your kids are, right? So one last thing about this whole compass thing. There's groups, there's a hobby called letterboxing. You can look it up. And there's also orienteering groups. If you love this kind of thing, there are groups that meet every weekend. They go to different locations in this area, and they have treasure hunts. Letterboxing, right now, there's clues hidden all over this campus, all over this area. If you look up letterboxing in Southeast Michigan, it's a great activity to do with your kids. You can go on treasure hunts all the time. Students, we're going to do an Amazing Race just using a compass and some azimuths and paces. Now remember, a pace is 2 steps. It's like left, right, left. That's one pace. Okay, so our first clue is at 30 degrees for 18 paces. So I'm going to take my compass dial and I'm going to set the direction of travel at 30 degrees. And then I'm going to move my compass until I put red, the red side, in the shed. If I put the black side, I'm going to be going in the opposite direction. This is showing me north is here. I want to go 30 degrees from north, and I'm going to do 18 paces. I look in that direction. I see that big sycamore tree, and I'm going to head for there for 18 paces. So here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, my next directions. 70 degrees for 13 paces. 70 degrees. I'm going to change to 70 degrees. I'm going to put red in the shed. I'm going to go 13 paces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Look, there's a clue. Our first clue is Earth. Now we're going to return back to the original. Now, in a real Amazing Race, you would do your next clue from here. But you don't want your students to get lost all over campus. So we're going to go back to the origin and do our next point. All right, students, so we're at our second point, which it says 240 degrees for 8 paces. Again, I'm going to turn the compass housing to 240 degrees. 240 degrees will be my direction orienteering. So I'm going to go in that direction. Now I have to put red in the shed. Red's all messed up. When is red going to get in the shed? Now red is in the shed. Now that is pointing north, so I know the direction I'm going is toward that portable classroom. And it's 8 paces, which is 16 steps. So here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My next point is 150 degrees for 27 paces. 150. I got to put red in the shed. I'm going directly for the phone booth. And here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Here's our second clue. Saturn. Saturn is our second clue. You can kind of see an outline of that planet here. Our third location, we're going to go 340 degrees. So I'm spinning the direction of arrow travel to 340 degrees. And then remember, I've got to put red in the shed. So I'm going to head right over here for 8 paces. I'm going to move a little bit so I don't run into the boulder. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm right here. And now I'm going to go 350 degrees for 42 paces. 350 degrees for 42 paces. I'm almost heading due north because 360 is due north. So here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 17, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 38, 39, 40. Look at that. Uranus. Students, do not ever say Uranus. Students, if you want to keep control of your classroom, especially if you have a middle school classroom, there are certain words you never say. Ball, screw, anything that has that kind of connotation, don't ever say it in front of middle schoolers, or that's it for the day. So this, call Uranus, not Uranus. All right? So that's our next clue. We've got one more. Okay, students, we have one more. We're going 110 degrees. So we set our direction of travel at 110. We've got to put red in the shed. We got to find north. And again, I may not have mentioned before, you find something in the distance. This is pointing straight at that fire hydrant. And I'm going to go 14 paces, which is 28 steps, straight at the fire hydrant. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that's not a fire hydrant, it's a pipe. All right, now 160 for 28 paces. 160, direction of travel. Got to put red in the shed. And here we go, straight for the doors. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Jupiter. Here we have Jupiter. So students, you can have a fun race with your class. Remind them don't run. Put them in teams. Now, for your exam, I'm going to give you a spot. Everyone will get a different spot. Remember one thing, I can put some dummy papers. Maybe you were down there and you saw a little paper there. That paper could have said, sorry, you're off course. So if it says that, then that means you didn't follow the compass right. Now, my paces might be a little different than your paces. I'm 5'6". If you're 6'2", your paces, you need to make them kind of baby steps. And if you're really short, you might have to stretch your legs to get the same as my pace. So these are, the steps are my steps. And you saw about how I walk. So fun activity, again, check out letterboxing if this is interesting to you, or orienteering. You can have a lot of fun. Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and Scouts and different church groups, they all, have these kind of activities going on. So have fun orienteering, have fun finding your way around with the compass.